Hello guys, Elven Warrior here and welcome to today's video. Today I have got another ultimate start guide for you today, but for the Empire, so that's who we're going to cover. What I've got in store for you is basically there's more aimed if you're new at the game, or if if you play and you're not quite sure what to do, or if there's anything that you think you've missed anything, then hopefully I've got the information here for you and hopefully I can help you out. So before we get on into it, guys, if you've not already done so, please hit that subscribe button if you've not done so already. You do not want to miss out on any content that I release, so that'll help keep you up to date. Please feel free to leave a like and a comment. They'll really help me out. You've no idea how much they do help, so please do that. Leave me the feedback. I'll be very much appreciated for it. So, okay, let's just show. So I'm just going to go through the basics now, guys, as well. So, I will timestamp it as well, so you can just skip to the bits that you want to if you know all this crap. But I'm just going to go through the basics in kind of an order. So if you watched any of my other videos, you kind of know how it's going to go. Okay, so we'll start off with the growth. So you have a certain requirement, so you can get a population surplus and you can upgrade your main settlement buildings and each one's. So yeah, you just got to get to certain requirements and then you can gain population surpluses, maximum of 5. The next button is the tax. So obviously you want to tax your province, but by doing so it causes a public order penalty of -4. That's constant unless you turn it off, but then you earn no money, so be careful with that. Corruption. So obviously the favoured corruption is untainted. There's also a presence of Skaven corruption. Also, obviously, there's the other corruptions as well, vampiric and chaos. So you just want to try and obviously balance it so you get your favoured corruption is the strongest. Otherwise, you'll start to take penalties and attrition and stuff like that. So you've got to avoid that. Province effects. There's this region control. It's the same for every single faction that has settlements. You basically, whether you go negative or positive, public order, basically you get, for positive you get like buffs to like growth and stuff like that, but then you'll get a negative for public order because they're trying to keep it balanced. And then when you go negative public order, you get negative like to growth and stuff like that, recruitment, and you get a positive public order because again they're trying to keep it balanced. So this button over here is the overview. So this brings up this screen right here, and basically you're just able to like build things just quickly and stuff like that. It's simpler to use. This is the garrison details. It tells you exactly what the garrison is like in Altdorf, what its condition is, what its stats are and stuff like that. So that's handy to know it sometimes. This little symbol up here is the wall strength. When it's green, it means there's no breaches and it is 100% healthy. This button here is the building browser. So this is just the more in-depth detail of what this mini one was. It's just perfect to plan out your settlements in advance. So you can just plan out, right, I need this, I need public order, I need wizards building, I need to leave room for these landmarks, and so on. You know what I mean? You get the hint. The next button is to recruit a lord. So what you can do, this is where you're able just to choose your selection of lords, and as you saw there, when the legendary lord is not recruited, you're able to get them recruited from there. So yeah, nice and easy. There's also one for the recruit heroes. That's the next button. Once you've got capacity for them and able to recruit, you'll be able to recruit them from here. Okay, so up here, as you can see, we've got our treasury. This is what's in the treasury. This is what the predicted income is. If you push the button, it gives you a bit more detail as to what's happening, what's going in, what's going out. And if you want to go in more depth, hit the details and it will break it down exactly everything. If you've got trade agreements, you can view your trade. You can see what the resources are worth and who you're trading with and what its value is and everything. You can use that to click on there. So there's a resource that the Empire use called prestige. Okay, so that's this here. So you gain it by owning settlements, political events, by winning battles, and constructing buildings. So you can also use them as basically for you get when the events come up. You can also spend prestige to gain Imperial Authority, which we'll touch more on that later. And stuff like that, and also other political events as well. As with the Empire, you constantly get like events that pop up and you need to do stuff about it, and so you need to make sure you have ample supply of prestige at all times, because otherwise you could end up forcing to declare war and stuff like that, when it could have been avoided if you'd have just saved prestige and stuff. Okay, so this button down here is your objectives. So as you can see, victory conditions. This is what conditions you need to achieve for a long campaign victory. So as you can see, there's just all sorts of stuff here that you've got to do to be able to achieve this. And this button here is the short campaign victory. So again, you see the stuff that is required for that. So currently there's no chapter objectives, but for most other factions, you get these chapter objectives that just generally, as you go by, you basically it's like sacking 3 settlements and stuff like that, sacking, occupying, or whatever, stuff like that. You get a reward for it, and then there's also bonus objectives, but unfortunately the Empire doesn't get that at the minute. The next button is diplomacy. So this is where you'll come to interact with other factions and races. You can start diplomacy where it's non-aggression pacts, trading, declaring war, making alliances, stuff like that. So let's just say if we can get trade there. So no, they don't even want to trade, stuff like that, even though relations are quite good. Just be mindful of your reliability though. You do not want to lose that. You want to try and maintain it at very high at all times, because it enables you to be in control of your diplomacy as best as possible. Whereas if you go to very low, then basically other factions will just declare war on you for like no apparent reason, and it's absolutely impossible for you to initiate diplomacy. So yeah, just try and maintain it. This button, technologies, so this is where you can access the technology tree, and you can just choose which branch you want to go down and whatnot, and what you're going to do. There's paid ones here which have got like diplomatic bonuses and other stuff. So these are the diplomatic bonuses, and these are basically battle bonuses and stuff like that. So and then this one is good for the elect count bit, which we'll get onto in a bit. Okay, so we'll get onto it now. Actually, elector counts. So this is the new kind of mechanic for pretty much all the Empire bits, apart from one, but it is for the other two. Basically, you have each region has a basically an elector count as like per the law. So once you conquer a legion or a region or confederate them, you'll get to choose your own person to go into the elector count slot. So and as you can see here, there's the fealty. Hang on, let's just see what's this. Okay, yeah. So we'll go on to that now. So as you can see, there's this little like symbol at each settlement within the Empire, and it's called fealty. So what you have there is basically so this is a fealty of 7. So if you can get it to 10, fealty of 10, then they'll offer confederation, and you can either accept or decline. But if you decline, you will gain Imperial Authority. And then basically if you confederated, it costs 3 Imperial Authority. And then therefore, it like if I did that now, let's say, it will push us into negative. And then as you can see now, if you go into negative, you start getting all these like negative buffs until you get to here. If you get to civil war, then literally every Empire faction in here will declare war on you, and you cannot get to that point. So you've got to manage it. You've got to be careful. You've got to be smart about it. So just think. So, and then if you decline the offer of confederation, it takes like 20 turns, and then they'll offer it again in 20 turns time. So, and also you'll get like dilemmas that come forward you know, to basically to improve one faction but decreases another. But you've just got to, like, you know, you've got to play a balancing act and then stuff like that. So yeah, it seems I've touched on it now. I might as well just talk about it now. So yeah, your Imperial Authority, you get, if you outright declared war on an Elector count, you lose Imperial Authority and stuff like that. You've got all sorts of things. If you prevent a civil war between two Empire factions, you gain Imperial Authority, but it's probably at a cost of prestige and stuff like that. So you've really got to be careful. You know, there's stuff to manage, so you can't let it get out of control. So that's why I was saying you've got to keep a buffer of prestige just in case, and stuff like that. So definitely don't rush into confederations. Take your time. Focus on the legendary lords first. That's like, you know, Balthazar Gelt down here. Definitely, he's the only one I will say rush for. All the others, you're not going to gain anything good. You've got countless people that you can use as allies here to help defeat, you know, the enemies of the Empire. So use them. You know what I mean? Use them to your advantage. Build up these relations and stuff like that. There's really ways to maximize and, you know, to cheese the hell out of this. Let's just say, like, an enemy, so let's just say you come down here, like over here, Steingart, let's say you come down here, take that, you give it back to the Elector count, and it'll be him. Do you know what I mean? And you gain Imperial Authority for that. It's really, really good. Instead of you occupying it, you give it back to him, and then you gain that. So it's just simple little things like that. It's just really, really handy to, you know, really handy to know. And I don't think a lot of people know about that. I don't think they understand the Elector count system really, or the fealty system. It is fairly simple to understand, but there is a lot to it as well. Okay, the Electoral Machinations. Okay, so this is the exact same as the influence system as what the High Elves use. So again, using prestige, you can just influence the relations between all the Empire factions. So instead of doing it globally between every single faction, it's just between the Empire. So again, you can either increase or decrease relations between them. So yeah, it's not... if you've got plenty surplus, then yeah, go ahead, use it. But again, you've got to be precious with your prestige because it is needed for other things as well. So as you can see there, we're in just stagnant Imperial Authority, so that's the effect. So yeah, so you definitely want to keep it in absolute, and that's only by having plus, like, you know, you only need one Imperial Authority for that, and you get really, like, some good bonuses there. Obviously, you don't want to go down this route because it will seriously affect you. As you can see here, we've got a mini-map. As you can see, pretty much all the Empire is pretty much visible because you're able to interact with all the Elector counts. You can, like, pull it about, zoom in and out and stuff like that. Up here, you got your missions and quests. As you can see, we've got a mission issued here. We gain prestige and treasury. Just by defeating this army here and stuff like that. So that's really good to... And also, like, all your quest battles for unique items and that appear here. Next button, events. So all stuff like, you know, all kinds of stuff just appears here, like that happens over end turns and stuff like that you need to know, or it just appears. So you can do as you please with that information. Lords and heroes. So all the lords that you recruit and heroes that you recruit and are active will appear here. Even lords that are disbanded, they will appear there because you're able to re-recruit them. Unfortunately, heroes do not have the same luxury. If you disband a hero, you effectively kill them. So if you get a hero with a trait that you like, do not disband it because you will not get him back. You'll have to wait for that trait to reappear. Provinces, it shows you all provinces that are known to you. So as you can see, Reikland is a contested province. So that's these four here. So once we unify this province, it will go to your faction symbol to symbolize it's a complete province like these ones here. So yeah. Known factions is the next button along, and it tells you exactly what... It's just a simplified version of this. just quick and easy to use. It shows you all the factions you've met, all the diplomatic status, whether they like you or not, whether you're able to trade, you can't trade, what their strength ranking is and stuff like that, and whether you're at war with them. So really simple things there. Faction summary, that's that button in the corner. It tells you where your capital is, how many provinces owned, settlements owned and stuff like that, treasury. And his faction effect is +10 with the Empire, Lord recruit rank +2 faction wide, campaign movement range +10 all characters, which is very good. Upkeep -15% for Reichsguard and Greatsword units. That's not great, to be honest. It tells you the climates that is suitable and that's habitable but slight penalties, and ones that are habitable but major penalties. Over here is your faction power. It shows you how many armies you've got and how many heroes capacity you've got and how many you currently have. And also just a brief overview of diplomacy, how many allies you've got, who you're at war with, and also your trade partners. If you so wish, this is the records. You can just, once it's like, you know, been a period of time and things have actually happened, you're able to just like come and basically just view what's happened and stuff like that. If you want to go into statistics, press this button and it will show you in depth a variety of statistics that is relevant and stuff like that, and if you're interested in that. So I've pretty much gone over the faction mechanics as well, the Imperial Authority, so there's no real need to go over that again. So yeah, I hope, and we'll move on to the next faction. Okay, so next up is Volkmar the Grim. So he starts off at the same place as Karl Franz at Altdorf. So I know he's probably not going to get moved now, but hopefully for Game 3 he will be given a new location, because he shouldn't be starting here. So his faction summary is Cult of Sigmar. Magic item drop chance +20%. Hero recruit rank +4 for witch hunters and warrior priests. Bonus versus infantry +8 for flagellants, empire knights and free company militia. Cooldown -33% to battle prayers and accusations. So yeah, that's literally the only difference between him and Karl Franz, really. Other than that, he plays relatively the same. So let's just move on to the next faction. Okay, next up is the Golden Order. So I noticed that we've got the chapter objectives. So this is what I was on about, that I couldn't show you for Karl Franz. So we have chapter objectives there, and then we have all these bonus objectives as well. So yeah, it's definitely worthwhile to try and do the bonus objectives, because it's extra money on top of that, but you need to make sure they're completed before you complete that one. So okay, so let's just do the faction summary. The Wheel of Magic. Suitable climate is mountain. Armor +10 for all units. Hero capacity +2 for battle wizards, and upkeep reduction 50% for battle wizard heroes. So that's really good if you want to go like, you know, battle mage heavy with him. So that's not too bad. So yeah, his mechanics are exactly the same as the previous two. So again, there's no need to go over anything else because there's no difference. So we will move on to the fourth and final faction, which is different. So let's move on. Okay, so here's the final faction, the Huntsmarshal's Expedition. So his effect is Huntsmarshal of the Empire. Limited roster, only basic units are immediately recruitable. Reinforcements from the Empire bring powerful units to bolster your armies. Hostile actions will result in retaliation from local factions, but will also empower your own armies. Recruit rank +3 for Huntsman Generals, faction wide, and diplomatic relations -40 with Lizardmen. So the mechanics for this one is completely different from the previous Empire factions. So yeah, as you can see, he starts all the way in Lustria, completely far away from the Empire. And as you can see up here, he has a claim. So if I do this first, actually, he has Wolfheart's Hunters. So basically, he has 4 legendary heroes that he can gain, and basically, you've got certain objectives to be able to meet them So what is it? 5 objectives for each. Yep. And then you're able to gain these heroes. So they're pretty good. Yeah, so the acclaim. So what happens here is basically what you do. You just, this goes up. So the more you like do battles and that and take settlements, more hostility, like it goes up, and stuff like that. And then the supplies get better. So the more that this goes up as well. So every time, so this button here is for your supplies. So every time this goes up, so supplies are dispatched at low frequency, and also public order effects negative, and it just goes up in until it gets to there, and then it spawns a like just a random army somewhere, usually at your most fucking least defended place, and they just cause fucking havoc. So, and then you've got this as well that just keeps, this goes up, diplomatic relations get worse and worse, we get more good supplies, we get good recruit rank and stuff like that, and we get, this is like the actual thing, we've got to get up to here, you've got to work your way up to there, and then that's like, you know, that's the aim of the campaign. So, but yeah, just be careful with the armies that spawn, because they are quite powerful and everything, so just make sure everything's well defended. So I think I've managed to cover everything for that video. So again, please let me know if you found the videos useful, and if they've helped you in any way. Any feedback would be most appreciated. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really will help out the channel to grow, and also it'll also enable you to stay up to date with all the latest videos that I do release. So until next time, guys, I will see you all for the next video.